Hello everyone, my name is Jaybird and welcome back to Cinderella Phenomenon. Without any further ado, let's get right back to where we left off last time. I leave everyone sitting at the table as I try to process the whirling thoughts in my mind. Hilda, my mother, the only person I ever thought loved me, was a Cinderella, a witch, the first witch to kill a human. The witch that started the fairy tale curse. All this time I thought Mother was the only one who cared about. What if she never did? I stay in my room for a long time trying to process everything I have been told. Days go by before I decide to leave the tavern again to watch Karma practice with the knights. These last few days I've felt hollow. Maybe seeing the normal practices will help me feel better. Maybe it will make things feel like nothing's changed. When I arrive at the forest, however, only Karma is standing in the clearing. He's staring through the trees as if he sees something there, but his expression is solemn, almost sad. Eventually he sighs, shaking his head before turning in my direction. Jaybird! I prepare myself for a response, but I find that no words come to mind. I have not spoken to Karma since this talk about Mother and witches, and any of the ease I felt with him before has slipped away. Still, I came here on my own, and I cannot just stand here being mute. I say the first thing that comes to mind. Where are Durin and Garland? I'll only train with Garland. Durin is on patrol duty tonight. He'll be here later. I just came early. It seems you did too. Jaybird, are you okay? I'm sorry I haven't been by to see you. It is not as if you own that to me. I don't owe it to you, but I truly wanted to. I've just been busy these last few days scouting the town for information. As much as I want you to come with me, why would you ever have wanted to pair up with someone like me anyway? Why, Princess, that's because I am bitter and cold, and even though I want to change, all I can think about is myself. But now, I want to change because I don't want to be the same as my mother. Isn't that selfish? Maybe so, but I believe you are being selfish for the right reasons. As an entirely selfless person can't survive in this world. Before we can make others happy, we have to be happy ourselves. Happy? Ourselves? Yes, an angry person holds resentment toward everyone, and it mars whatever good deeds they seek to do. That is why I cannot complete my good deeds. Wrong? You've already got one done. Recognizing the need for change is always a good thing, Jaybird. Regardless of the motivation, you are trying to become a better person. That is what matters. Oh, hello there. Big bye. He takes a step toward me, but then puts his hands on my shoulders and leans down until I can look into his eyes. Karma's serious expression stirs me as much as his touch. It is never too late for anyone to change. You taught me that. What? Who could have taught Karma anything? Do you mind if I tell you a story, Jaybird? He's standing too close. My guide says I'm supposed to step away from him, which I'm like, no. I take a step away from him, and Karma's hands fall from my shoulders. He sighs out. The story better be just as dramatic as mine. Thank you, Jaybird. For what? for agreeing to listen, and for what you just did. Stepping away from him? Was I distracting him? Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there lived a crown prince from a kingdom called Brugantia. Brugantia is one of the neighboring kingdoms, so this isn't make-believe? His name was Cloud Idric Rinaldi. I see what you're doing there, mister. That spells out karma! Oh my god. His name was Cloud Idric Rinaldi Matthews Almonte, but because the name was such a mouthful, he settled for an acronym as a nickname, at least around the palace, where it was acceptable. Cloud Idric Karma? Yes! I caught on to that so fast! Prince Cloud was a man who flaunted his beauty and talents to all that he met. He often used his title to get what he wanted. Prince Cloud was a selfish man who felt he was entitled to everything that he had. He was vain and often left his castle unattended so that he could avoid his responsibilities. Then one day he chanced upon a beautiful maiden in the town square. He led her around the whole day, being as charming as he possibly could. And then at the end of the day, he asked the woman to be his lover. She agreed, but their time together did not last long. Only weeks later did Prince Cloud threw her away as one... Only weeks later, Prince Cloud threw her away as one throws away an object and broke the woman's heart. And she cursed him. That beautiful maiden was a witch, but Prince Cloud found out too late. The witch said she would make his beauty, his vanity, a curse. To make even beauty a curse. Ashamed of being cursed, Prince Cloud donned a disguise and left his kingdom behind. He has been gone for nearly a year now, and most probably assume he is dead. But in truth, the prince had come to Angelo seeking a way to break his curse. He had heard of a young lady named Jabed, who on her 18th birthday could dispel any curse. Karma. He looks so sad. I don't know how to comfort him. Claude? Oh, look at that! He's blushing! That's so cute. Claude! Karma. Claude turns startling red as he stares at me, and for a few moments he does not speak. Then he bursts out laughing. I stare at him in shock, not understanding his reaction. I feel myself flush. Isn't that your real name? No, darling, it is. But hearing you say my name, well, it sounds so much softer out of your lips. I rather like it. My cheeks are warm again. How is it that he's always able to make me feel this way? Because you love him! I will call you by that name if it makes you so happy. Let's make it a secret between the two of us. I'm still Miss Karma here. Besides, I'd rather you kept that name for my ears only. It makes me feel more special that way. More special? At that moment, Garland shows up for practice, and Claude politely excuses himself. I watch the two of them trade blows. Claude favors his other hand, but his blows still come quickly, even with his injury. The more Claude tells me, the more I realize that he's like me, a noble cursed for being selfish. But how do I help break his curse? Why can't he tell me? As practice is drawing to a close, Claude asks Garland the usual question. Have you confessed to Durin yet? Garland only shakes his head in reply. The two men sheath their swords. Garland looks almost sad as he turns to make his way back to the tavern. He likes her and yet he won't say anything. Why is that frustrating me so much? Garland. Yes, princess? My guide says I have to say you have to tell Jern, so I'll do that. Claude told me before that confessing is hard, but what Garland is going through looks even harder. Princess, you know I'm incapable. No, you think you're incapable, but if you never say anything to her, you'll never know. If I say something wrong, I risk losing everything that I already have with her. And if you say nothing, you risk losing what you could have with her. Oh! Jebud is right. Maybe you should really tell her, Garland. But before Claude was adamant that Garland shouldn't confess to Jern, what changed? If I mess this up... let's try looking at it through another lens. Imagine that Jern is Jebud. How do you think she would like to be confessed to? I frowned at the two men, arms crossed. Excuse me? Well, you and Jern are very similar. You're both very straightforward. Confess to the princess? My eyes moved to Cloud, but only fleetingly before they are once again on Garland. You just need to do something simple, Garland. Something that will not rub her the wrong way. A maiden's heart is ever fragile, and each woman is different. Cloud is wearing an amused smile on his face, but he was looking at me, not Garland. I feel my face flush, and I have to look away. Jebud, your tomato red again. It's adorable. I crossed my arms over my rapidly beating heart again and forced a scowl on my face. No, I was just thinking about what Garland could. No, I was just thinking about what Garland could do. Something simple. Like when Karma kissed my hand, Garland kissing Jern's hand is probably not a good idea. Maybe he could do what Claude and I did that one day in town. He can buy her some food and they can just talk. Hey, Garland, have you ever just asked Jern out for food? Not alone. Jern is practical and she always eats at the tavern. She's also always on duty if she's available. I'll take a patrol shift 2 nights from now then, and tomorrow you can ask her out for a meal. We can make your invite a grand affair. We can drape banners on the walls, or we can give you a rose. Give you a rose. That sounds like a terrible idea. I am offended. I feel like if I did something like that for Jern, she would get embarrassed and punch me. Sounds like another lady that I know. Claude grins at me, but I just roll my eyes. Garland, just ask her normally, and then when you are out and alone together, you can confess. And we'll make sure you have the time. To do it. I'll purposely come late to practice tomorrow night so you can ask her out for that date. How does that sound? You two really think I can do this? You just have to ask the question. Whatever follows will at least be an answer. Tomorrow night, then. Good man! I'm sure it will go swimmingly. Or I could drown. You won't drown, Garland. Garland excuses himself with a nervous smile before Claude turns to me expectantly with a mischievous grin. Now, Jebud, we'll come here early tomorrow and spy on them. We need to scope out a good spot. Spy on them? Of course! We need to make sure that our efforts pay off. I don't think we should. You don't want to see how it lays out? I mutely shake my head, unable to put my emotions into words. For some reason, I am imagining myself in Jern's position. It feels too personal. Claude's likeliness suddenly springs to mind, and I feel my face grow hot again. Jebud, you've been oddly out of it today. Cloud reaches out a hand toward me, then abruptly pulls away. I stare as he smiles at me, almost sheepishly. The conversation between us dies, and we return to the margin. Days passed, and though I did not spy on the conversation between Jern and Garland, I noticed that Garland has been smiling from ear to ear during his practice with Claude recently. I can only assume that his confession went well. Claude took the patrol ship tonight, and as I lay in bed, I am restless. Every time I watch Claude practice with Jern and Garland, I'm reminded of the palace of Fritz. I wonder how Fritz is doing. Is he still practicing with the other knights? My thoughts darken as I recall the kidnappings. Claude had to save me every single time. He got injured saving me. Unable to sleep, I slip out of bed and make my way to the reception room. Just adjusting myself here. The night air is cool, and no one stops me from standing just outside of the margin. I cannot just sit back and do nothing anymore. I have to act. I do not want Claude to get hurt because of me again. Eventually I see Claude approach. He looks tired and is moving more slowly than usual, but when he sees me, his lips quirk into a smile. Jaybird, what are you doing out here tonight, love? Oh! Love instead of darling. That's new. Hello, Claude. It's so cute, little blushy boo. Little blushy boy. His face is dark red again. Yep. If you're using my real name, I suppose you've come to ask for something serious? How could he know that? I do need to ask something of you. Well, if you need a shoulder to cry on, I'm right here, love. What? Oh, this is not about... Never mind. I'm asking if you will be my instructor. For some reason, I seem to have caught Claude off guard. He stares at me for a few moments. What? I want to learn how to use the sword, and I want you to be my instructor. Claude's expression becomes uncharacteristically serious. I'd rather you didn't learn how to use a sword. I do not want you to have to keep protecting me. I don't mind protecting you. I do. Claude sighs and shakes his head. Princesses shouldn't be using swords. I want to be able to stand on my own 2 feet. You are. I do not want you to get hurt again when I could do something about it. Teach me, please. Claude. Every time we say his name, he blushes. Once again, he flushes. It seems to be an instant reaction, and it is both amusing and endearing. It won't be easy. I wasn't expecting it to be. Claude stares at me for a long time before finally letting out a heavy sigh. Fine, I'll train you. You won't learn in a day, but I can teach you the essentials. You can use one of the knight's training swords. Thank you. Music to my ears. Meet me in the clearing in 10 minutes. 10 minutes? What? You said you wanted to train, so we will. Don't expect me to go easy on you. But aren't you tired? He looked exhausted when he came in, and now he wants to learn. And now he wants to train? Already trying to get out of training. I am not. Claude shakes his head, but he is still smiling. But he is smiling. I'll see you there in a few minutes, love. Wow. Just wow. Well, guys, that's gonna be it for this episode of I can't talk. I'm sorry. Well, guys, this is gonna be it. This is fuck. Okay, try again. Well, guys, this is gonna be it for today's episode of Cinderella Phenomenon. If you enjoyed this episode of Cinderella Phenomenon, leave a like down below, leave a comment down below, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't, ring that notification bell, and remember, die safely. Bye bye!